Well, one thing I've said, and I got, everybody crucified me. Not everybody. I shouldn't say everybody. I got a lot of hate.
We
Some
didn't
hate mail.
crucify
No, I
you.
got some hate mail because I said that Islam is the most well-rounded lightweight in the UFC
History.
history,
Yeah.
and I stand behind what I say. And the people that cussed me out and called me names, well, give me a name that's better then, and then tell me why. Don't just tell me, give me a name. Don't just say so and so. Give me where he was better than Islam at, where he dominated, et cetera, because Islam's good everywhere, and Charles Oliveira's fight proved my point. How many times did he get hit? How many times did he hit him? How was his striking? How was his ground? How was everything all the way around?
He put him down, and then he entered his world on the ground and submitted him. And Charles has the most submission victories out of any fighter in UFC history.
Yeah, but that's because Islam's good in every world,
Right.
and that's what I'm trying to say. And I'm not saying he can't get beat. I'm just saying he's the most well-rounded, and the likelihood of him getting beat, I don't know. It's not likely. Not the way he's rolling right now. Not likely to happen. So I can see him being one of the greats of all time for sure.
So, how do you predict 2023 for Islam?
I predict 2023 for Islam, guaranteed 2 title defenses, possibly 3.
So, Volkanovski, Benil, and one more.
Yeah, those would be the likely candidates, right? Because and I'm going based on Islam's interviews, how he talks about he wants to defend the title many times, and Islam has never been one to say something he didn't want. He's never boasted about nothing. He just, if you've been around him for, I've been around him since 2015, and I've never had to ask him, Islam do this, Islam do that, like outside of the training realm. He does everything correctly. He trains with different coaches. He's got great coaching back home. He does everything. Whereas Khabib didn't just only train with myself and his father and hardly anybody else. Islam is training with different coaches, so he's getting training year round and he's getting better. He's got great coaching.
Well, considering how that fight played out, though, against Charles, do you think that Alex Volkanovski will be a tougher opponent than Charles or
Different.
different?
I don't necessarily think tougher, just different. He's going to have disadvantages, and he's going to have advantages. And it's just going to be different. One thing's for sure: does he have Charles's ground game? Nope. Nope. Can he stop Islam from taking him down? Nope. Cannot. Let's see what happens.
So, do you think that Islam will submit Alex?
I don't know because I never like going, we're going to knock him out or we're going to do this, because I don't like putting my mind behind a 2-round fight. Then all of a sudden it doesn't happen in 2 rounds, and I'm going, oh shit, now what? Because then your brain's going to think that happened. So I like going 5 rounds, and if it comes earlier, great. But I'm looking at, my mind is engaged for 5 rounds.
1, 2, 3.
Umar Nurmagomedov, because what I saw in Abu Dhabi, we saw the number 13 guy, Sugar Sean O'Malley, fight the number 1 guy in Peter Yan. He beat him. I want to get your thoughts on that fight, but now he's the number 1 contender. I know you firmly believe that Umar is the future champion, the bantamweight division. Do you see something similar happening with him, where look where his ranking is? He's in the high teens and flirting around the top 15, getting a top contender, and then being 1 fight away for a title shot.
100% see that if the UFC will allow it. If they want to give us the title now, we'll win it now. To put my stamp on it, Umar will win the bantamweight title right now. He will win it right now. So giving us more fights is going to be worse for them, because he keeps getting better and better. But he will win it right now. That's just my opinion, and I stand by it. Khabib stands by it. The whole team stands by how good Umar is. And but I agree with you and what your assessment is. Sean O'Malley was ranked so high.
13, I believe.
Yeah, and then now he fights top guy, and now he's ranked number 1.
He's the number 1 guy in the bantamweight division.
I could see that happening to Umar too, but in all fairness, I don't think the rankings should be like that. You're 13 and you fight and then you didn't. That fight was very questionable.
How'd you see it?
I saw best case 2-1 for Peter. Worst. I mean, sorry. Worst case 2-1 for Peter. I saw 3-0 for him. And but Sean O'Malley proved that he's a real fighter. He came back. He did some damage, and I don't know how many fighters would have came back as strong as he did from that adversity he had. And he hit some nice strikes, very nice strikes. And in all fairness to me, I wasn't watching it 100%, every round for round. I was between there and Islam and whatnot. So I wasn't focused on that fight. But from what I saw, it looked to me like Peter won.
Well, in that division, it looks like Henry Cejudo will be making his return.
Yeah, Henry, the no cringe guy now, he can do whatever Henry wants. I mean, don't count him out, by any means. Do not count him out, I mean, he's an Olympian for a reason, and he's probably the greatest combat athlete of all time, right? Doing what he did, 2 weight divisions, Olympic gold medal. Who's got that?
Well, he wants Aljamain. Aljamain doesn't want to fight until I think June into the year. Wow. So what do you do? Do you just wait? Does the UFC go for an interim bantamweight title? Like, what do you think?
I don't know. It just depends. Aljo can do what he wants, as far as I'm concerned, as long as it's within the reasoning. Then they want to throw whatever title, which I don't agree on those things anyways. But if they want to, they can do it. It's okay. But what Henry wants to do, I don't know. I mean, he wants to get paid. So what's going to make him the most money is what he's going to want to do.
Well, then he just called for Sean O'Malley for an interim title fight.
That's a lot of money. That's a very interesting fight.
But I like that too of a bantamweight title being on the line at UFC 280, I guess it would be 284 in Perth in February, because Volkanovski, who's the featherweight champ, is going up to fight Islam then, right?
So is it confirmed?
Is it confirmed? That's what they're working on.
Yeah. They're working on, right? I've been told we're working on it, but until you see it, UFC announces it on their thing. I've learned already, until UFC announces it, nothing is confirmed to me, because I've made that mistake where I say, oh yeah, they're fighting. I'll say, no, they're not, until the UFC puts it in writing on their thing and they announce it. It's a fight. Till that point, no, not a fight. I've been there before where, oh yeah, Khabib's fighting. He's fighting for the title. No, he's not. It was not. So I'm like, I don't know.
If that is the fight that materializes, though, it's awesome storyline if it's Henry on there or just a bantamweight champion, because, what it seems like Aljo, in my eyes, would want to crack at the 145-pound title, especially because his teammate Merab is a top 3, top 4 guy in the bantamweight division, his training partner. And I know he'd give him an opportunity to fight for the bantamweight title. So I could see Aljamain wanting to go up the same way Volkanovski wants to go up.
You know what? The relationship with those guys is very interesting, and I really like it, because here's Aljo, who doesn't have to go up in a higher weight division, but he will, only to give his buddy that opportunity. Same thing DC did for Cain Velasquez. That's the reason why DC dropped down the weight, because he didn't want to fight with Cain. He did not want to fight Cain. So he dropped down the weight. He sacrificed. He went down in weight because of that very reason. So Aljo is doing the same brotherly thing. He knows that his guy is right up there, and he knows eventually going to fight. Well, if I can move up in weight, I'll go move up in weight. And big news for him, and then it gives his training partner an opportunity to shine. So that's actually very honorable.
Storyline that I know Will Harris, shout out to him, Anatomy of the Fighter. He's been around you guys a lot. That He picked up on, that I'm not sure the grand old mass media of MMA has picked up on, that Islam has an elite training partner who's competing for the lightweight belt in Bellator, and Usman Nurmagomedov, November 18th in Chicago. That's his main guy. Now, I'm not going to sit here and ask you who gets the best of who, but you're pretty confident, but that is going to be the next champion in the lightweight division in Bellator. Talk about the competitiveness of their training in their room, and what it means to have potentially 2 world champions in the same weight division going at each other all the time.
Well, I'll put it this way. The last sparring session that they both had, Khabib and I looked at each other and we go, there's a future great. And Usman, future great. And the Bellator title, yes, he's going to win it. And remember how old he is too. How old is he? He's young. Wait till 2 years or so from now, and then everybody's going to realize that Khabib and I already knew a superstar. He's a superstar. You'll see. Because one of the things he has, he's good-looking guy. Okay, he can fight. He's exciting, right? He's exciting, and he's got a personality. He's got a great personality. He is funny. Look at my Instagram posts and look how he has. You got no mail for me? What? No mail, coach? What is that? Oh, I signed right here. It goes no mail. He's got a great personality. He's got all the ingredients, all of them, and he's undefeated, 15-0. I call him the finisher for a reason. He hurts you. He finishes you.
What about the competitiveness between the two, though? I'm not saying who gets the best of who, though, but like, have you seen like more competitive rounds in 155ers than when those two are going at it in training?
Those two are the best competitive with each other for sure. Yeah, that's the best competition. But Habib's got some killers. He's got some killers in there. Moblid, who won the PFL, he's incredible. He's got so many. Amaru, who you guys will hear about later. He's Amaru he's a beast. He is one hell of a fighter, and really tall, lanky, it's featherweight, and he's incredible. I've said it to you guys before. I don't know if you remember, but I said the best fighters in the world are going to come from Abdulmanap's gym in Dagestan. Now people are starting to go, whoa, what the heck's going on now? Well, I already said about 2 years ago this was going to happen. Now it's happening.
I know. And then if you look at even in the UFC in the light heavyweight division too, Ankalaev, if he's fighting Jan Blachowicz, winner of that is going to probably fight for the title next with Glover Teixeira, the winner of that, and Yuri Prohaska. So they're right there.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Yeah. Well, think about this, as an Olympic wrestling, Dagestan, and gold medals. Look that history up. You're going to go, wow. A lot of majority of the gold medals, in that region come from Dagestan.
Next weekend is UFC 281. And I know someone you speak very highly of, Israel.
Adesanya, yeah.
Yeah, and he has that fight against Alex Pereira, but they've obviously, met before in kickboxing twice. So how do you see it playing out in MMA now?
In a way, I kind of look at it the same. It's going to be a kickboxing match because why are these guys going to spend time trying to take each other down? Israel's for Alex, is going to have a decent takedown defense, right? And why does Israel want to take him down when Alex might be likewise? Who knows? I think it's going to be more of a kickboxing, and I could be wrong. Israel could want to take him to the ground because he has more experience there, and he has been knocked out twice, I believe, or once. I know I've seen one with the left hook. That guy's got an incredible left hook. I watched the fight, and I thought that Israel was picking him apart, till that left hook came. So he's got enormous power. So obviously, if the fight goes through on the stand-up, and you're winning, and you're outpointing this guy, don't get carried away because that guy's got that H-bomb behind him. That left hook is got some power on it.
As a former kickboxing champion yourself, though, what about the differences in the size of gloves from when they competed in the different sport versus now comparing it?
For sure, it's going to be a big difference. Yeah, you can't afford to let yourself get hit that much. So, yeah, that does those versus 10-ounce gloves versus those little MMA gloves. One jab's going to cut you up pretty good the way those guys jab. So you don't want to get hit. You really don't. So how that fight's going to play out, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. Am I watching? Heck yeah, I'm going to watch. That's going to be a good fight.
Even in the lightweight division, you got Dustin Poirier and you got Michael Chandler going at it. I feel like it has title eliminator implications on it, but what do you see happening for the winner there? We talked about Beneil Dariush earlier. If he does fight, does he fight the winner of them? If he's not waiting for his title shot? Where do you see the winner of that fight in the pecking order in the lightweight division?
Well, if Beneil doesn't want to wait and the UFC wants to match him against the winner of that, then the UFC will put that match together, and it's a good match. It's a real good match. Beneil would be probably thinking, okay, I can beat these guys. I'll fight these guys. Pay me the money, Dana. No problem, But I he's earned that opportunity. How many fight win streaks does he have? 11, 10, 9? Beneil's up there.
He's up there.
He's up there, or I think 9, right? Probably got 9 fight wins.
It's at least 8 now. It's 8 or 9.
8 or 9, I think so. So he's the most deserving, and his last performance showed that. But if there's going to be a wait and there's going to be a log jam, right? Then the Michael Chandler and Dustin fight would be a great option for Beneil, and that would be a great fight. People would want to see that fight. I'd want to see that fight. So that would be a great option. I think so.
I'd want to see it too. That's why I threw it out there.
It's going to be a great card.
I'm excited for it.
Me too.
What else is going on in the world of Javier Mendez?
I'm still working on my import-export business, IMX Power, and we're moving along well. We move along well. Pretty soon I'll be an entrepreneur, not only a coach, and things of that nature. I'm just doing a clothing line too.
Nice.
Yeah. I've been working on it called Hob, J-A-B, Hob clothing line.
When does that launch?
Soon. There's other ones we're doing. We're doing Father's Plan too. We're doing the Father's Plan clothing line. I think I talked to Khabib about a year ago. I say, hey, I want to do a Father's Plan clothing line, and I think it would do fantastic. But it has to be strict, like Muslim religion proof. So I put a good friend of mine, in charge of it, and because he's 100% going to see the vision that Khabib would have to respect his father and their Muslim religion. You got to respect it, so you got to do it right. So we got the right people working on it. We'll see when that's coming, but that's in the works also.
Excellent. Well, we can't wait to see it. I want some clothing when it comes out. I got to represent some Hob, some Father's Plan.
Oh yeah, I forgot one other thing. We are filming a pilot for a reality show when I get back soon. We're gonna do a pilot, and it's not going to be about the fighters per se. It's going to be about relationships with fighters and people outside of fighters like my wife and people of that nature. It's going to be the backstories.
At AKA.
Yeah, at AKA. Yeah.
With a network or?
No, it's going to be a pilot first. And then when they're going to spend quite a bit of money filming it. Then they're going to shop it. And then, we'll see who picks it up. Maybe Netflix. I don't know.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
A
lot of good storylines.
Yeah, I believe there is. There's a lot of good storylines there. There's a lot they can go with. And I just think that the producers are going to have to, because there's so many ways they can go. But if they go everywhere, no one's going to be able to follow it, right? I'll give you an example. When we did the first reality show that we had, remember we had one, the reality show, and there was a scene there when Mike, Kyle, and I were going at it. We almost went to blows, right? We almost started hitting each other because of whatever respect. And him and I were going at it heated. And all of a sudden, I yelled at him, well, then you effing do it. Let's go. Like this. We're like right here looking at each other's face, right? All of a sudden, we looked around. The cameras are filming us right behind us. And I'm like, we kind of chilled right away. We went, whoa, okay, how about them bears, right? So I was thinking, wow, that's great for the reality show. That's a damn winner because they filmed the whole thing. And I asked the guys to go, hey, would you guys? And then you know what they said? It's not in the narrative. It wasn't part of the plan. So people won't know how to follow that. They won't know. You gotta follow the path, right? You can't go off path. They go, who is that guy? What is this all about? They don't know.
It's a reality show. It's not supposed to be scripted.
Yeah, not scripted is one thing. They don't tell you what to do, but they can't just film all kinds of different things. You lose interest. What if you're doing something super, super interesting, and all of a sudden someone else does something over there? Everybody wants to see what you did to finish off what you were working on. Now, but they went over here, and they don't even know what the hell that guy's there for. No one is going to do that. That's a reality show disaster. They have to follow a person. If I'm following Helen, I want to see how Helen goes to swimming, what she does for trying to get back into the Olympics, and and what she does, et cetera, But all of a sudden we go to her, but then something exciting happened right next to her. We film that, but everyone go, what the hell? Who is that? They were following you. It's your history, your story. They have to follow that story, I learned that. I'm pretty good at this stuff.
It's about storytelling. It's up to the creatives to make segues and transitions to tell a couple different stories. If it's not done right, I agree with you. That could be a disaster.
It could be a disaster.
But if you have the right creative people behind it, I'm sure you could tell both stories. Multiple stories.
You can, but they didn't put that in.
Nah, they didn't build it.
They didn't build it. And that's what I'm trying to say. If you build it, it can go good. It's because reality show is this. They don't tell you what to say. But let's say they know two people are not going to like each other. They'll put them in the same room and see what happens, right? Like they try to create that me and Koscheck type feud, back then. So what they did is they create, hey, Hob, can you and Koscheck meet to hash this things out? And I'm like, hash what out? And you guys just meet. I said, fine. So they met us. We met at the park. And he's like going through his script of what he's going to say to me. And I'm like, what the hell? I said, how's the team doing? So anyways, I'm just saying that they're not scripted, but they are because they put you in a situation where things could go.
The art of TV production.
Yeah, exactly.
It's where they could kind of manipulate a situation.
They manipulate the situation. It's not acting, but they're putting you in that situation, it's like, for instance, okay, stupid analogy, but let's just say we want to see how quick we'd get out of this room. Well, bring a skunk in here, lock the door, and see what happens. Okay, what's gonna happen now?
Someone's gonna break their leg trying to jump over the other person. Yes, the room.
Yes. So it's gonna cause that. So that's what reality shows do. They create that. You don't know what you're gonna do. Hey, we're bringing in a skunk. We're bringing the skunk. It's like, no, they brought him in already. And you're like, what? You know what I mean? That's kind of a reality show type of a theme of what they do.
Yeah, we'll put 16 people in a big mansion, take away their cell phones, and we'll have cameras on them at all time. And we'll call it the Ultimate Fighter, and everyone will fight each other.
It's funny you say that because that's what Khabib does to the fighters. When he finds out they're super tired, he'll curfew for them. I think it was 10 or 11. He'll take PM and go collect their phones.
He'll do that?
Yeah. Yeah, wow. He takes their phones. And also, too, he has a jail at home. When they go out of line, he puts them in jail.
Wait, a jail?
Yeah.
Like a holding cell?
I haven't never seen the pictures, but he goes, I go, hey, where's Muhammad Ali? Oh, coach, he was in jail. I go, wow, real jail? He goes, no, my jail. I said, what do you mean your jail? Because when they're going bad, they do good. They're going the wrong trade. I put them in jail.
For how long?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's house arrest type jail. I just know Khabib he puts them in jail. He takes their phones away, puts them in jail. He's very strict. You get out of line. You're going in the wrong area. He's gonna put you. That's what his father did. That's why it's like you have so much respect for what he does because I see his father in him over and over. How much he loves the fighters. They're his brothers. He loves them so much that. For him, he'll do whatever he can to set him straight. That's what his father did. That's why I said his father was a great humanitarian that, it just loved everybody. And his father was about forgiving everybody and learning. And, he gave up so much, that man. And I see that in Khabib, and that's why, so he's not doing it to be a jerk. He's just to help them.
Get the best out of them.
Yes.
Learning lessons.
Yes.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, Khabib's got his own jail.
Yeah, he's got his own jail.
We learn something new every day with you.
Yeah. One of the things, too, it's funny, and I'm going to say it because I want people to speak to me in Russian so I can catch Khabib and them. They don't want to teach me Russian so they can keep secrets from me. So I'm getting better. Now I'm getting even more determined to learn because, he'll say something, skoros, and I go, what does that mean, Khabib? He goes, coach, that's speed. I go, okay. So then it's davai, like stay, davai, go, the things like that, and I'm learning a lot from that now because of him. They don't want to teach me. Whether they do or don't, I don't know, but I do know that I'm teaching them English and working with them, but they're not working with me.
Hey, Google Translate.
Google Translate, that same is better if someone's talking to you,
Yeah.
I have a Duolingo. I have Duolingo, and I've only looked at it a few times. It's better if someone talks to you. The Duolingo's okay, but it's better if I have someone speaking to me.
That's what I appreciate so much about them is that they take the time to learn English, because in this sport, and it being such a global sport, having the English language is such a key thing.
Yeah.
And they speak that. You don't get other champions from different languages necessarily taking the time to learn English, and it makes them so much more marketable and relatable when they could speak English among other languages as well.
Yeah, well, look what I did with Tahir yesterday. I said, hey, Tahir, let's do something. I want you to hit the pads and say, the UFC, I'm coming to you, la, 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 la. And he goes, okay, coach. So I'm teaching them how to grasp, getting attention and showing people, I want to perform for you. What are fighters? Performers. We're entertainers. We fight, but we're entertainers. So why not speak the language that everybody, becomes a star in? It's English. Straight up.
It's smart.
I think so.
And your social media with these guys is very underrated.
Yeah, it's underrated. I think so.
Remember the push-up challenge that Khabib had you do?
Yeah.
Is he still making you do that?
Khabib every so often does some things that are really funny. The funniest things he always does is football. He loves, which football is soccer, you guys.
Right.
He's this big, huge soccer fan. Oh, boy. He'll stack it in his favor so he can win a game.
It reminds me of when we played DC in basketball. Actually, Bilal was on my team. It was me, Bilal Muhammad, Jamal Hill, a couple of the UFC guys like Joaquin Buckley against DC, and he brought his own team at last second. It reminded me when I saw Will Harris's videos of Khabib in football bringing his guys against the younger guys.
Yeah, he cheats. He'll grab the guys that are the better players. No, I'll take him. No, you take him. It's like, I'm like, but he's a hell of a soccer player too, football player.
I watched. He's good.
He's good.
Multi-talented.
He's real good. Oh yeah. And when you want to talk about trivia, talk about knowledge, football knowledge, don't challenge Khabib. No. Manel Cape, who's a heck of a player himself, he challenged Khabib, and look what happened to him. He's like, well, I don't know this, but I know this. I can play soccer. He goes, well, brother, you don't know anything. Real Madrid, and I don't even know the damn names. Barcelona, la la la, and he knows everything about these guys. And Manel was like, well, I can play. I go, brother, quiet, sit down. You don't know football. And I'm like,
Episode 111 of the Schmozone podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. 111. Are we out? Tony, are we done?